Welcome to the channel. In this video, I want to do a long-term review on the WeatherTech floor liners. So here in our 2019 F-250, we have WeatherTech floor liners, and we've had them in the truck for about a year. And with this truck, we do snow plowing and lawn mowing. And as you see, the WeatherTech floor mats have curled up pretty bad here on the driver's side. Now, we get in and out of the vehicle a lot, so uh, these mats are seeing more than the normal usage. So I don't want to just thumbs down the WeatherTech, but I do want to point out, in extreme conditions, how these foam mats are performing. So if you look closely here, right there, you can see that they're worn out pretty bad. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't compromise the actual protection that they provide. It's just, a little bit unsightly if you're doing this with a personal vehicle or something like that. If your floor mats look like that and you spent a lot of money on it, you might be upset. For us, it's a work truck, so it's not that big a deal. And we know that we are still getting the protection from the floor mats. It's just the floor mats themselves aren't that resilient. Like I say, there's curling here. They've never really fit that great, in the edges, but they do have a big scoop design that really does keep everything contained pretty good. Let's take a look at the back here. Here in the back, like I say, they never really wanted to lay flat, but at the end of the day, they are protecting, the floor. It's brand new underneath, and you wouldn't want to have to replace your vinyl floor. We went with the vinyl floor on this truck. You wouldn't want to have to replace that. As you see, we got this killer blade laying here, so we are hard on the floor mats. But like I said, they've never fit that good around the edges. It's not been a big deal because it's a work truck, but they do have a good scoop design, a nice ridge right here that keeps things contained. A good amount of coverage on your seal down here, but this material hasn't been that great. And actually, when I first got it, I tried to tape this end down with masking tape so that it could maybe conform, leave it there for a week or so, and it would stay there. But it didn't stay there. As soon as I took the tape off, it popped right back up a little bit. That might have a little bit to do with the curling, closing the door and having that piece not wanting to sit flat. Let's look at the passenger side on the truck, rear passenger. Like I say, it's never really wanted to fit all that great, but the ends here never wanted to fit like they should, like nice and tight like that. That would be ideal, but they always pop open, leave a little bit of a gap, but they still provide the protection, so you can't complain too much. But there's a little bit of curling here where the material just curls up. And I'm wondering if Husky Liner will be better. I've never tried Husky Liner floor mats, but I wonder if those would perform a little bit better. Don't want to hit the bricks. Barely touching, but it's got a protective plastic liner there. So looking at the passenger side, there's a little bit of curling here. Now, keep in mind, we've had these for a year. And, one thing I would say, if you're looking at these for a Super Duty or maybe a heavy duty truck or anything F-150 without the center console, having the one piece set is really a headache because you can't take this out easily to clean it. It's a lot of work to take this out for cleaning because it's one piece going from the left to the right, from the driver's side to the passenger side, and it's just a ton of work to take it out. I did it maybe one time, and I'm not really, it's not something that I'm going to do regularly because it's so hard to swing this thing in and out. So I would highly recommend just getting a 3-piece or just getting the mats, just left and right side separately. I've even considered cutting this apart so that it'd be easier to come apart. But, at the end of the day, it's not ideal. Maybe I'll make a cut so that it'll come out easier, or maybe I'll just switch to Huskies just to see how those hold up, because it's really interesting to see what product at the end of the day is the best. Now, they still provide the protection to your floor, but if this was my daily driver, it might get a little bit annoying if the mats leave a little gap there underneath. But yeah, that's pretty much what you get. Let's take a look at my F-150. Now keep in mind, these mats have 7,000 miles in the Super Duty, but in the F-150 they have 20,000 miles, so a little bit more miles, maybe a little bit lighter usage, but I'm in and out of the driver's side quite a lot, probably more than normal because I spend a lot of time sitting in here. But looking at the passenger side, I feel like if I sprayed this mat off, it would look like a brand new mat. You know, there's no wear, there's no nothing like that. It sees a good amount of use, but definitely less than average on the passenger side front. Looking at the rear, they've always fit good. They've always kind of laid down just right. And overall, 100% happy with the Ford mats compared to the Husky, or not the Husky, but the WeatherTech mats. I'd much rather go with the Ford than WeatherTech floor mats. They have a nice ridge here that will keep any water on the mat and off your carpet, and the carpet is absolutely perfect underneath. Let's look over at the driver's side now, and we'll take a look and see how the driver's side looks. Driver front, and boom. There's some wear, you know, looking at it right there. There's a little bit of wear on the ear here, but all the lettering is still pretty good. Now this sees just as much wear and tear as the Huskies in the other vehicle, because I'm in the driver's side all the time, and this truck has 20,000 miles. These mats have 20,000 miles. There's a little wear here on the lettering, but at the end of the day, if I sprayed this mat off, it'd be a pretty clean mat. Maybe throw some kind of rubber conditioner or like Armor All or something light like that on it, and it would look pretty good. It's not recommended to use Armor All on floor mats, but you know, these mats could be sprayed off and look brand new. Compared to the Huskies, you know, they look pretty worn out and used. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not saying, or not Huskies, but compared to the WeatherTech, they look worn out. The WeatherTechs look worn out. I haven't tried Huskies. I think Huskies use a softer material similar to what is found on the F-150 Ford floor mats that you get from Ford. Now, am I saying WeatherTechs are garbage and don't buy them? No, I'm not saying all that. But I'm saying that real world, long term, this is what, in my experience, this is what I'm finding. And you know, they still protect, they still are covering the floors, no doubt, and they haven't failed. Although I don't know if in 100,000 miles those would fail. Now, keep in mind, you know, is it a big deal? No, it's not a big deal. But if you're gonna, you know, sell your vehicle down the road, it doesn't hurt to have mats that still look brand new. But anyway, comment below and tell me what you think. What experiences have you had with your floor mats? I feel like for this, you know, doesn't mean that they're garbage, but they should definitely be a cheaper product than some of the competitors. And I don't think that's the case. I think the WeatherTech costs a similar price to the other competitors. So I'd be curious to see if anyone has had any issues like this with the Huskies. And I'm going to actually try out some Husky floor liners to see. Maybe I'll go ahead and put a whole year on them and see what happens. But anyway, that's it for the video. Comment below your experiences, your thoughts, and I hope to hear from you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.